bring in National Union of Mineworkers Spokesperson Livhuwani Mammburu with the latest developments. A very good morning to you. Thank you for your time. Talk to us about what's happening so far. As far as we heard, Eskom had reached an agreement with unions like yourself and NUMSA.
Good morning, Mpo, and the viewers of Newsroom Africa. It's not true that we have reached an agreement with Eskom. We think that the comments that were made by the Public Enterprises Minister, Private Gordon, yesterday were reckless, and they will jeopardize the wage negotiations. We can confirm to the public that there's an offer that has been tabled by Eskom, which will be presented in the Central Bargaining Forum on Friday. After being presented on Friday, that is when we will take it to our members to decide whether they accept it or not. So at the moment, as we speak, there is no wage agreement between the unions and Eskom.
So what about your members? Have you urged them to return to work immediately?
Remember, in this situation, our members, we did not sanction the pickets or the strike that is currently happening around the power stations. In our statement that we released yesterday, we called for our members to normalize the situation around the power stations, so that they can give us an opportunity to negotiate with Eskom. So this morning I made few calls to our members in different power stations who told me that in some power stations the situation is back to normal.
And the power stations that have not returned to normality, what would the reason be behind that? Is it a lack of communication, perhaps, or are they just waiting for this final agreement to be made?
What is happening in Port, those people that I spoke to were visiting. At that moment, they were updating me about the power station that they have visited, that where they are now, the situation is normal. So we're still going to get an update with other power stations as they are still busy driving to other power stations.
Perhaps bring us into your confidence there, speaking about the details around the negotiations. Where are you standing in terms of this agreement and the demands that resulted in this, protest?
Initially we were demanding a 15% wage increase. We are now on 10% as the NUM. And remember, last week, Eskom declared a dispute, or they collapsed the wage negotiation like they always do. So we pleaded with them to come back to the wage negotiating table, and we are happy that now they are back.
So in terms of time frames, what are your expectations for everything to now return to normal and the agreement to be accepted? Do you think that by the end of this week you'll have some sort of solid plan going forward?
Like I said, there is an offer on the table which will be presented in the Central Bargaining Forum. It will depend after the offer has been presented, whether our members accept it or not. So we cannot preempt what is going to happen.
Very well. Let's leave it there for now. Thank you for your time. Livhuwani Mammburu, National Spokesperson for the NUM, speaking there, saying that some members of staff have returned to work and others have not, but they are still now waiting to get back to the other members when it comes to the final agreement.